Welcome to Lifted, a podcast where we talk about all things health and fitness for busy working mums and women who are trying to navigate their way around parenting, work and relationships whilst wanting to prioritize their own fitness and body goals. We'll explore ways to help you achieve and maintain a lean, strong and sexy physique that is essential for helping you carry out your day-to-day tasks without burnout. We'll talk about relationships, self-love, and even dive into the mindset side to help you shift your perception, change your paradigm from one of inability or lack of to one of pure abundance and endless possibilities to enable you live your best, healthy, and fit life, being the best version of you that you can be. I'll share my journey as a bodybuilder and talk about everything it's given me in terms of achieving a strong mindset and a will that's totally unbreakable. I am your host, Carol West, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's episode. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Lifted. Nice to have you joining us, and today we're going to be talking about fitness and training. So this is one of my favorite topics to be talking about, so it's going to be a good one. We'll dive straight in and go into the nitty-gritty. Going to cover a few things. So first of all, I want to talk about first timers, or if it's your first time going into the gym, or if you've been out of the gym for a while and you're going back into it, how to navigate your way around those first time or going back to the gym, anxiety, nerves, that sort of thing. So first of all, you want to have a plan in place before you set foot in the gym. So if you've been away from the gym for a bit and you're wanting to go back in and get back into your fitness regime, you want to think about what things you're going to be doing. So don't just throw yourself in like without a plan, because that's bound to make you even more anxious. It's bound to make you feel even more apprehensive about what you're going to be facing. And if you're a first timer, like if you've not been to the gym before, or if you've not ventured into the weights area, say, and you're wanting to try that side of things. So say, for example, you've signed up with a coach, they've given you a plan and they've said like, I want you to be doing these exercises, and the only way you can be doing them if you can't do them at home is to sign up for the gym and do them that way. And you're there, you're shaking, you're thinking like, oh, I'm not really made, or I don't really think I'll manage to like do all these things because I'm not used to being in that sort of environment. And for somebody who hasn't been in a gym or has been away from the gym for a while, you walk in and there's people throwing weights around and there's people grunting, and depending on what sort of a gym it is as well, it can be quite off-putting and it can be quite intimidating, so to speak. So you want to remember first of all that those people who are in there grunting and pulling weights and pushing things around are very self-absorbed. So much so they will not even notice you walking in. They will not notice you doing whatever it is that you're doing. And the thing to remember is that you will always have somebody on hand to help you. So there are members of staff in the gym that are there to help new members who are coming in, or people who don't know how to use the equipment, or they're not sure how to go about doing stuff in the gym when they get in the gym. So first port of call, if you're not sure about where you're going or where everything is to maybe grab a PT or a member of staff who will show you around, and then you can acquaint yourself with what equipment is in the gym or where everything is set up, so you kind of have a rough idea in your head or have a picture of where all the equipment is. And then that first day, really, I wouldn't say like go in and do like a proper good workout, because it's never going to happen. I mean, you're kind of just trying to find your way around and have a feel of things and that. And you're most likely you're not going to be able to like get a good session in. So don't put so much pressure on yourself on that first go. I would say just walk in. Maybe if you're still quite apprehensive even about talking to a member of staff, go on to cardio machine. So you can have a treadmill or a bike or a cross trainer or a stepper, which is the hardest of them all. So I would say maybe just go on a treadmill and have do like a 10-minute warm up. In those 10 minutes, I would say use those 10 minutes to like just have a scan around the gym, just have a look at what is happening and, have a rough idea of if you're familiar with what the equipment is, and you're not completely new to it, you'll be able to make a judgment of where things are, say maybe like where the shoulder press machine is, where the leg press is, where the free weights are. And most gyms are designed in such a way that the cardio equipment overlooks the weight training section, so you can kind of have a good look and a good idea of where everything is just by doing a bit of a warm up on the treadmill or on the bike, and then that way you buy yourself a bit of time to settle in and to calm your nerves down, and hopefully by the time you finish your warm up, you're ready to jump into the weight section. The other thing I would say, maybe if that's a bit too much for you, and this is not something that I personally would do, but it might help you just ease yourself in a bit easier, is to sign up for like a class. If there's a class going on, like a body pump class or something along those lines, you can sign up for a one class and use that class to like get yourself into the feel of going to the gym, and then from there you might even be able to chat to some people who are there in the class with you, and they probably will have a better idea of where everything is around the gym. They'll be quite happy to show you around, and then you'll gain your confidence from there, and then you'll work your way around into the weight training section. So some gyms are, especially the commercial ones, they're also designed in such a way that sometimes they split the equipment up, so you can have like the lighter weights separate from the really heavier weights, maybe in separate areas of the gym. So maybe you might just want to go and start off with the lighter weight section, and then once your confidence goes up and you get used to doing what you're doing, and then you can venture into what we call the big boy area. But I don't really like saying big boy area because it's for girls as well, and girls are hench these days, so big girls as well, big girl areas. So yeah, that is something that you can do, and it will just help ease you into the flow of things, and hopefully calm your nerves when it comes to gym anxiety for first timers, or for somebody who's been away from the gym setting, or somebody who is not very familiar with weight training and is just on the very beginning of trying to learn all about it. Now, once you get your confidence up and you know what you're doing, you've got yourself in a really good place, and you've established a routine, and you know what you're doing every day you go in. You want to think about the intensity of your training. And really what happens is, I, having worked on the gym floor myself and seeing the sorts of things people do when they come in to like train, and it's really hard even for me now to like sit back or just watch people do things wrong, or watch people do things without having their mind in it. You can tell when somebody is actually committed to what they're doing. I mean, I have on several occasions seen somebody doing a leg press whilst texting all the way through the whole 3 sets or 4 sets, and they've literally not made an effort to connect their mind to the muscle that they're actually working. Now, I'm not saying you have to be so serious when you're going in to train, because especially if you're like the general population, you're not an athlete, so you don't really need to be as focused. I get that. But equally so, I feel you could get so much more out of your workout session because you've made an effort to go into the gym. Why don't you just do what you went there to do? The phone can always wait. I know sometimes it's work, and sometimes you have to be present in both areas at the same time, and it's hard if it's your livelihood and if it's what's feeding you really and putting a roof over your head. But sometimes you just have to block off like half an hour of that time and just think like the world will not end if I don't reply to this text or if I don't answer this, that and the other, because sometimes you also have to switch off and have that time for yourself. And I consider gym time my me time. And I've been guilty of, I'm not saying I'm a saint on this one, I've been guilty of going onto my phone and checking on messages or answering to clients and all this. And it's not great when you're trying to really have a focus and have that time where you just switch off and get into your session. You kind of lose your flow, especially if you've worked up to a flow of where you are at with your sets and your reps, and then you get to a point where your attention is taken away, and suddenly your mind, you kind of lose that focus a bit. So it's things like distractions during your sessions that it might not be a big deal, but it's just it's a shame that you've made the effort to go into the gym and you're not actually making the most out of it, because I feel a lot of people could benefit by just getting stuck in a bit more and focusing on the task at hand, because it literally will not take you that long to just have a really good intense session where you're training with intensity and intent. You're putting effort into every rep that you're doing. All your sets are like literally hitting the right muscle. And this is where you will find people who get results quicker. And this is not just based on your training. Obviously, there's a lot of variables that come into play when it comes to like body transformations and body physiques. How to achieve a good, nice, lean, toned physique. It takes more than just going in and banging in the weights. There's a lot of things that are also involved behind the scenes away from the gym. So all these things tie in together, and they have to work together for you to achieve this really good look that you're looking for. But I think when it comes to the training side of it, it's always very beneficial if you make the most out of your training session, because I know for a fact that when I've had a good session, you literally walk out of that gym feeling really good about yourself. You feel great. You've released the endorphins. You've got your feel good factor going. You know that you've smashed all your sets and all your reps have been exactly as they should. And it's always nice also to get like a personal best. So this is where when you're progressing, you're wanting to look at increasing not just weights, because when people hear progressive overload, the first thing they think is like, oh, we need to put more weight in. Definitely put more weight in. Keep those plates coming. And it's not just that. I always advocate for form over weight. I'm not an ego lifter, and I do not encourage any of my clients to ego lift, because you're bound to you're risking injury, and if it doesn't happen on that first time, it will happen at some point, and then it will set you back, which is not what you really want. You want to go steady. You want to go at a pace where you feel you're working the muscle to a point where it is being exhausted, but then you're not risking injury. And then you will know before you actually get to that point where you're adding more and more weights on. The big indicator is when you've been lifting that weight over a period of time, and then it's got easier. So one day you go in and you think like, this feels a bit light today. In that instant, you immediately have to think of adding more weight on. And the other thing also to remember is it's not just about hitting those PBs every week, like week on week. Sometimes it will take you a long time to go up a weight. This is if you're doing it right. So anybody can lift a weight in any way, It's not if you just focus on lifting a weight, you can't lift a weight. But we're talking about lifting that weight using the right form, making sure that everything that needs to be worked is being worked properly. Everything that needs to be braced is being braced. Everything that needs to be moving is moving. Everything that needs to stay still is staying still, so that you're actually concentrating on the muscle that you're actually just trying to work, and not recruiting all these other muscles as well in the process, which some people might feel it's not a bad thing to be working all muscles at the same time. But it's a bit, if you're really trying to work a certain muscle and to make the most out of that session for that muscle, it's really not serving the purpose that it's meant to when you're recruiting all those other things as well. And as I say, if you're doing that, it's probably because your form is off, and therefore again you're risking things like injuries, and you're not getting the most out of that session. So you really want to be thinking about all these things when you're going into your training sessions. You want to think about progressive overload. You want to think about getting the form right for what you're doing. You want to think about not just adding weights, but you can also add reps and sets as well before you progress on to adding more weight. So it's a game of numbers, yes, but also it's very much dependent on how well you're lifting the weight, and not just lifting it because you are lifting it. Everything has to have a purpose when you're training in that way, and that way as well you are most likely to see results faster. Bearing in mind you're putting all the other variables in play as well. We're not saying like you'll get your results faster when you're eating Domino's pizza every day of the week and coming in and doing your 30-minute session. It's not going to work like that. So you want to think about all these other variables that come into play when you are training. So as far as being in the zone and being focused on the session that you're doing or the session at hand, you also want to think about the other side of it and how well you're progressing. So in terms of knowing when it's the right time to push the weight up, you first of all have to have like a record. If you haven't got if you've got like a brilliant brain where it photographs every information that goes in and it stays there and you can remember it, that's great. But most likely you will not remember. Like say if you did 80 kilos or 10 reps of 80 kilos and you've been doing that and then you've added a bit more as you've gone along, and you'll get to a point where you get lost with it and you think like, oh, was it 8 reps I did, or was it 8 sets reps I did, or was it 8, or was it 10? It gets a bit you can get muddled up in your head if you're just concentrating or focusing on just doing it in your head and not putting it down. The thing is, if you write it down, then it's there in front of you to see how you're progressing week on week or every couple of weeks or whatever, however you want to frame it. And then it actually gives you your motivation as well to think like, okay, today I did this weight and I did this reps. And yesterday I pushed a bit more and I did this and I did that. And then you can kind of build a picture as you go along of how well you're actually doing. And then you can see where that progress is actually coming in compared to just leaving it all in your head and thinking like, oh, I remember what weight I did last week or the week before or whatever. Because don't forget also, when it comes to training, no two sessions are going to be the same. And if you're doing like split training sessions, so split training sessions will be like you're splitting between upper and lower body. So you're not doing the same part of the body like 2 days consecutively, because what you want to be thinking about is to work one part of the body as hard as you can and then let it rest for at least 48 hours before you go in again, because it's the growth happens at rest. So if you're smashing it all the time, you're probably not going to see results quickly, and again you are risking injury because the muscle's not got time to recover, it's not got time to grow and to heal. And if you keep going at it, then you are not doing yourself any favors. You're actually doing yourself a disservice. So you want to think about working the muscle as hard as you can when you go in for those sessions. Be very intense and very effective in your training, and then you want to leave it for another couple of days before you go in with the same muscle. or every other day. So you don't really want to be going at it every day, at the same muscle. It's not great. So yeah, the intensity of your training also really matters, and you want to focus on really having that mind to muscle connection where you focus on the muscle that you're actually working. So if it's your bicep, you want to connect your mind to working that muscle, just literally that one, and you're hitting it and you're hitting it and you're hitting it, and then after that you're going away, you're feeding it right, and you're letting it recover and rest. And then when it's healing, that's when the growth happens, and that's where you get that nice tone that everybody talks about. Nice shoulders, nice biceps, nice upper body or lower body, whichever one. And it's once you know what you're doing, it's very easy to have an effective training regime and an effective way of working out, so that you're not just working hard and long. Some people think like the longer you work out, the better it is, but sometimes it isn't, and you have to pull back a bit sometimes also. What you want to do is train smart, not long for ages, and that kind of helps with bringing together that really nice look when you're looking to transform your body and you're looking to see what you're getting sculpted. It's those tiny things that you put into play that actually go a long way into helping you achieve that really, really nice look that most people are after. So just bear that in mind. And if you're new to the gym and you're apprehensive about what you're going to be facing or what you're going to be doing, grab yourself a PT, even if it's just to pay for 2 sessions, to get you into the flow of things, so that you know exactly what you're doing, where the equipment are, what you're meant to be doing with them, because I've seen some sites where people are using the equipment for the wrong things. And it's hard to bite your tongue and not say anything, but you kind of just have to leave them to it, because some people don't really want to be told. And it's hard as a coach, it's hard as a PT to see somebody doing something wrong, but then not knowing where the boundary is in terms of wanting to help. And some people just feel like you're intruding. And then also there is the issue of then they will be very self-aware, and that you'll make things worse for them if they're actually there and it's their first time, and then you come in and you say to them look, I know you're doing this, but can I just show you? Then they will be very, it can affect them and make it even worse, because then they'll just feel like, oh my God, I've been doing this all this time and it's wrong and people have been watching me. It's a very fine line to cross, and sometimes it's hard to know what to do. But if they look a bit friendly, and if they look like they could take advice, then I usually do step in and offer to maybe do a set with them, say for example, and then they don't feel like you're actually telling them off for doing something wrong, because then that's not nice. I mean, I wouldn't be too pleased if somebody came to me at the gym and say to me yeah, I'm doing this, but you could do it like this, and it's well, this is my way, I want it to do my way. So yeah, it doesn't feel great. Top that up with being apprehensive about being in the gym in the first place, on the gym floor where everybody is doing their own thing. It can be very for somebody who's in that situation, it can be hard to take, and it might even put them off coming back to the gym for a bit. So yeah, it's a hard one. But yeah, just a short one again to just give you that sort of advice on things to think about when you're going to the gym. Also, you want to think about what your diet is like. So when it comes to transformations and when it comes to fat loss and weight loss, we do know that, as cliche as it is, we really are what we eat. And at the end of the day, you didn't get yourself in a position where you're overweight in a day, and shedding that weight off or burning that fat off will not happen quickly. And if it does, it will not be something healthy, and it will definitely not be sustainable. The moment you come off that diet that's got you to shedding that weight off so quick, it will all come back. We all know that. So you want to think about getting something that you can incorporate in your life so that it's part and parcel of your lifestyle, and you don't feel like you're having to completely change and overhaul your whole life. Because let's face it, life is hard as it is, and sometimes it's hard to juggle everything. Place that on top of having to do something new completely, it's hard. But it's doable. It's doable. The only thing that I would say is, like, a lot of the time we tell ourselves we cannot do these things, and it's only because we're putting limitations in our heads, and we're putting barriers because we think like, yeah, I've got too much going on, I can't be doing that right now. But let me tell you, you can, because if you think about it, especially moms, I mean, we know more than anyone what it's like to be really exhausted, like really, really exhausted. And even when you're that exhausted, somehow you still manage to take care of your kids. Everyone could be dying, you could be ill as well, but you will still be the one taking care of everyone else. So that energy is there, that fighting spirit is there, and it's transferable. You'll be glad to know. You just need to. It's really just a mind game. And once you make that switch, and once you recognize the fact that, if something matters to you, you will make time for it, and you will make an effort, and you will go out of your way to, like, borrow time here and there to make sure that it's done. And just have that mentality of knowing that the training can be part and parcel of your life. It can be incorporated in your life, because it is a very important aspect of our lives that people don't really take that seriously. Or people just think like, oh, it's just for gym people. It's not really a me thing. But it doesn't have to be. The benefits of weight training and generally keeping yourself fit and healthy far outweigh the negatives of it, if there is any negatives at all that I can think of. I can't. And so we want to think about incorporating fitness and weight training into our lifestyle. I mean, it helps with avoiding things like brittle bone disease in old age. You will still be able to play with your grandkids. You will still be able to walk and go out and about and do your business without relying on anybody else for a long time to come, because this is what weight training does for your body. It keeps you going for as long as it can, compared to somebody who doesn't do any of it. The benefits of it are far, far more. It far outweighs anything that you would think as placing it as a negative. Myself, I don't see anything negative in it. And it's one of the best things that I've ever found and I've ever had the joy of experiencing and doing, because it just doesn't leave me feeling great about myself at the end of every session, but it gives me, I know it's giving me those healthy benefits that I will carry through for a long time to come. And I will always be fit and healthy. And that's what I want, because I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see my grandkids as well. And I want to be able to be that grandma or that mom who actually gets involved with kids' activities and, gets stuck in without feeling like I'm dying at the end of it. So yeah, you just really want to think about getting yourself into a position where you make it part and parcel of your life, without it feeling like a chore or something that you have to go out of your way to do. Think of it as something, like you don't think twice about brushing your teeth, do you? You brush your teeth, there's no ifs and buts about it. I know it doesn't take the same amount of effort, but equally so, you want to think about training fitting into your life the very same way, where you just know that it's something that it will be done on your training days. It has to be done without any excuses or anything. Unless you're dying, of course, and you're not really well, then please keep your germs at home and don't go infecting other people in the gym. But yeah, you just want to think about the training side of things not as something hard, because it's only hard if you make it hard. And it only becomes hard if you think of it as being hard. You can enjoy training, and you can enjoy the weight training side of it as well. It's just how you look at it and in what perspective you're putting it in. You want to just change that mindset a bit when it comes to it, and just feel like it's something that you're doing for you. It's an investment for you, on you, and also it's your me time. Especially if you don't get a lot of free time in the day for yourself. It can be a time where you just switch off with your headphones on, or you can have me on the podcast or somebody else, and you can just get lost in it, and it's nice. It's lovely to just be able to go in and do your thing, whether it's half an hour, 40 minutes, an hour. It's that time for you as well, and it's always lovely to feel like you can have that time for yourself, and just get lost in it. So in terms of any sort of help when it comes to the training side of things and nutrition, we do offer packages in our Elevate program, and it is quite nice to get inquiries from people wanting to join the team and wanting to be part and parcel of it, because we have helped quite a lot of women change their lives in not just one way. It's not just about the body side, it's not just the physical side, it's also the mind side, and it's how it translates into the rest of your life and how it changes the rest of you, because it has a knock-on effect. The moment you start noticing these changes, you change in yourself as well. You grow in confidence. You feel like you can take on things that before you would have shied away from, or you would not have ventured into. So it's not just about the physical side of it and the body transformation. It is all-roundedness, both body and mind, soul and spirit. We take care of all that. But you will have to reach out to us. You can DM me. It's Carol West Coaching on Instagram, and it's Carol West on Facebook. The Elevate program is great for women who are ready to be committed, ready to put the work in. Women who are coachable, who will follow instructions, and who will also be good communicators, so that even if they're having a rough day or a rough week, and their check-in has been rubbish, they can communicate and say what exactly has happened. So then we are able to help you in the right way and try and steer you back onto the road that you've gone off from. So yeah, if this is something that you feel has resonated with you, and you feel like you would want to reach out, please do, because we're always here to speak to you, and also we want to help you be the best you can be, and it's a great investment as well, because it's something that you will have for life. It's not, we don't want you to always rely on us as coaches. We want you to, when you finish and you graduated from the Elevate program, you know exactly what to do when things go wrong. You will know how to rectify them. You will find your way back, because you've got all that knowledge there. We give you so much knowledge. We give you so much support as well. So you only have to be willing and ready to be coached and to put the work in. So that's been today's episode, and it's been just basically training and trying to get yourself into the right mind frame of getting back into the swing of things if you've been away from it, or if you're a newbie going into the gym and facing the very big task of wanting to join the rest of the fitness club and trying to get your head around everything that it involves. So I hope that's been helpful. And again, it's been a pleasure to have you joining me today, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye. And just before you go, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel so you don't ever miss any upcoming episodes. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Carol West Coaching. Are you interested in coaching or joining our team as a client? We offer photo shoot, body transformations, as well as bodybuilding competition prep packages. The team at the Elevate Health and Body Transformation Program are ready and waiting to help you achieve and maintain your dream physique. Whether you're looking to step on stage or just want to do it for yourself, you can send us a DM and we'll get you on the road to achieving a lean and fit physique. Bye for now.